Mamma mia, bitch! It's the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast.
Space is the final frontier. Then this is just the pit stop at the rest area that is near. It's the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast. 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 In your ear. Hot, 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 damn it, hot, 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 damn it, hot, hot, damn it, hot, 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 damn, hot, idiot, hot, hot, okay, Poddamn Idiots, Poddamn it. From the Henplex Studios in Battle Creek, Michigan, the Red Room in Spadeland, the B Slow Studios, and the Scorpion Room in San Marcos, Texas, this is the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast.
Mamma mia, welcome to the show. Underneath me, he rides the Yoshi to go catch the bad guys. He is Captain B Slow. To my left, he is the toad that likes to go and get the coin. That is a J Hizzle. And the guy across from me in the corner, he is the Luigi to my Mario. He is Texas. And then there is me, the champion, the Poddamn World Champion, the Mario, Rick Spade.
Nice. You know, as I was going through the intro, I realized we are just broadcasting from many different places tonight.
Everywhere.
We're everywhere to us. Texas, what's happening in your life in Texas?
Honestly, not much. I did my first couple of door dashes so far this week, and other than that, I really haven't done much.
How'd it go? Was it pretty easy to figure out? Would you get the orders okay? Happy people with your deliveries?
Everything was good except for one. I wasn't sure where the restaurant was because it was a restaurant called It's Just Wings, and I didn't know we had one in San Marcos. So I used my Google Maps to find the address, but it took me somewhere where there was no restaurant. So I had to call them, and they're like, oh, we're located in Chili's. I was in the Chili's parking lot when I got the order.
Oh, the Just Wings place?
So I drove
I had the same issue. I had to call them too.
I drove 3 miles in a different direction to go find It's Just Wings, just to find out it was in the parking. It was in the same building as where I was sitting in the parking lot.
Wow.
I had the same issue first time I was sent to that restaurant. I'm like, I'm at the address, but I don't think this restaurant exists in the city because I know this city. Like, oh, it's inside Chili's. Why didn't you just tell that when you sent me there?
So they're renting Chili's space?
I guess.
Chili's cooks the food for them.
I will not lie. It is pretty good wings, but because I've had it before. But that was just really confusing. But other than that, it's gone okay.
Nice. Good. Captain B, what about you? How's your week back from the beaver going?
Well, back to reality, and it sucks. Stresses are back. I didn't do much at work because I didn't want to. And that's one of the good things about my job. If you don't want to, you don't have to unless the radio tells you to.
That's very true. I've seen super.
And, of course, it's been raining all week here, so it's been hard to get stuff done. But I finally got my lawn mowed in the pouring rain this morning.
Oh, nice. I haven't mown mine in like a month.
But
this
we
weekend,
needed it, so I got it done. And tomorrow is putting up Halloween blow-ups in the front lawn.
Ooh, I know how you love those blow-ups.
I love them. I want to be the throw-up house with all kinds of blow-ups just everywhere.
That's awesome.
Is Bridget the Midget going to be out there?
I don't think he has a blow-up midget, do you?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Cool.
$20 at Spencer's.
Mr. Spade, what about you? What's been happening?
Well, let's see here. You know that school that's technically behind my house? I believe it's on Spencer Street. It used to be the old Southeastern building.
Sure.
Okay. I found out that not only is it like part like church / recreational center, there's also a pizza place now in there apparently.
Wow, restaurants are just popping up inside of all kinds of random buildings.
Okay, but think about this though. Like I'm off of a main road away from everything. Like you wouldn't even know it's back there. It's like by a bunch of houses. It's like the most random location to put a food place.
But it's pizza in a church, and that makes sense because it's so delicious. It's God's food, I'm sure.
Well, I've yet to see it actually open, but it says grand opening, or now open, something like that. But it's called Hunt Brothers Pizza. But yeah, other than that, I went to the gym 4 days this week.
Woo!
End up hurting my arm today though, which kind of sucked. I went and did 5 more pounds than I should have on the chest press, and I overdid it, so had to cut it short. But all of us here, we kind of have older houses, right?
Yeah, mine was built in 1976.
1940.
Get me beat.
Okay, have you ever had a problem with like a bathtub or anything where like something's completely stained and no matter what you do, you can't get that stain like taken off?
That would be the bathroom next
I
door.
hate rust stains.
Mine's not. I don't know if mine's are rust stains or just old.
At our Eaton Rapids house, we put a floor mat down, and the water was so hard there underneath the mat turned permanently orange.
There is this stuff called like barkeeper's friend or something that's supposed to. It helped me a little bit. It was really good for rust stains.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I've had this stain on the side of my bathtub for 6 years out of the 8 years I've had my house, and no matter what I've tried to do, it would not come off. I would try all different kinds of cleaners. I tried sponges. I tried like the scrub brush from the toilet just to see if that would do it. Nothing. And then Tuesday, I decided, you know what? Let me try something here. So I used some scrubbing bubbles and some Clorox bleach and something else, and I mixed all that shit together, and I sprayed it, and I scrubbed it with a copper scrub, and I'll be damned if that shit didn't come off. So for the first time in 8 years, I have a clean bathtub that's 100% completely calcium, lime, and rust-free.
Really? Nice.
So sometimes mixing stuff's good, and other times you create mustard gas, but that's a story for another time.
Right, you gotta take risks sometimes. So nice.
Yeah, so that's it for me.
I'm glad you had success with that. Well, I have spent pretty much Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, all those nights, probably till like 1:30 in the morning, just working on the duplex, and it is as done as it's going to be right now. There's obviously other projects, but the scariest part, though, was Tuesday night with the tenants coming to sign paperwork on Wednesday, moving in Thursday. Jesse had helped put some stuff back together in the bathroom, and then I was testing the water, and everything was working good. He was getting ready to leave, and he's like, all of a sudden I hear, we have a problem. And I walk down, and there's water just gushing from the ceiling in the garage.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, oh, no. Like, what am I going to do? Like they need to move in like a day and a half. So then there's an access panel there. We knew it was coming from the bathroom, obviously, and it had to do, we were sure, with running the tub. And Jesse's like, well, I really hope it's your drain, because if it's not your drain, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to get to things, how we're going to get this fixed. And so we open it up, and he's like, it might be the drain. Go upstairs, call me, and then I'll have you run some water. So I called him, and he's like, all right, turn it on. I turn it on a little bit. He's like, stop. And thankfully it was the drain. And then he went up to look at it, and he kind of went to try to jiggle it, and it just broke in his hand because it was so old. And so he took the piece off, and there's all this hair jammed in there, which is pretty gross. And he said it was a good thing. He said it's a good thing this happened because he'll be able to get replaced. It probably would have gone bad on the tenants otherwise. And now they actually have a nice new drain that they can close too. So that's kind of cool. And then the worst thing happened last night. I had told because the drain in the bathroom was running slow, the sink one. So I decided to snake it because I have a septic system, so I don't want to put a bunch of crap down it. Oh my gosh, I don't understand how that much hair could even get in there in the first place. It was so gross. And
You had a woman living there.
but it
They
was
lose lots of hair.
It's true.
oh man, who knows how much hair, how long it could be from even people before that. It smelled so bad. I thought I was going to throw up. No joke. It was awful. I cleared the drain out, but I was thinking like, I don't know if I can do, and sadly I'm going to have to do the same to my drain because it's been kind of slow. And who knows who lived here before me. But anyway, so snaking is gross, but I'm going to wear a mask and gloves next time.
I had that same problem with my bathtub when my ex-brother-in-law lived here, because all of a sudden, like, the bathtub would not drain at all, and I had to, like, use one of those air shot plungers to get it to go down. And then finally I went downstairs and I took the drain off, and I still couldn't get it to snake or anything, and I ended up having to use the shot vac in there.
It worked.
When I used the shot vac, I sucked out the fucking hair clog, and the hair clog literally was about this long, and it was all dark hair, and I knew it was his because he was the only one with dark hair in the house.
Oh.
I was like, this shit ain't happening again. So I had to get one of those mesh filter screens to put in the fucking sink, the bathtub drain, so that way it could catch all the hair.
Yeah, I put that in my guest bathroom at my old house, so that way if people were staying over, then their hair would just be on the drain, and I could easily clean it up instead of having it go down.
Well, it's one thing if you got like really short hair, but I don't know how that motherfucker loses so much hair.
I mean, I have little leg hairs, but those will go right down the drain. So.
Yeah, you definitely don't have no head hair.
No, and chest hair goes down the drain. So does beard hair. So, yeah, my strategy in life seems to be working. But yeah, so now the tenants are moving in today, and yeah, I'm really happy to have some neighbors again, and they're really cool, and I'm excited about that. So, but that's pretty much been my week besides work, and I'm just exhausted. I thought I was going to fall asleep at the wheel driving home today. I didn't, though. Don't worry. But all right. Well, I think it's time for some news. There's some stuff going on in the world today. So first off, I mean, you always have to start with a story with someone from what state do you think they're from?
Florida.
New Jersey.
Florida people.
Georgia.
So sometimes people in Florida take the wrong turn. So this is a short, quick, easy story, but in Florida, a Florida Highway Patrol said a driver was not injured when his pickup truck left the road, and guess where it ended up? It ended up plunging into a residence
Alligator
backyard.
farm. Oh.
Nope. Backyard swimming pool, which I guess could have an alligator in it. So, yep, the trooper responded Wednesday when a driver swerved off the roadway to avoid a disabled vehicle. Then crashed through a fence, ended up in its front in a swimming pool. No one was injured. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. The police said drivers have to be alert for vehicles in the roadway. I mean, I don't know what he's doing when all of a sudden there's a disabled vehicle. I'm sure you should have been able to see that coming, but thankfully nobody was in the pool. It's just a really funny picture, though, because this truck is just halfway in. I almost think if he would have backed in, maybe he could have gotten out if it was like four-wheel drive. But
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Gross.
He's making macaroni noises, Jay. You can't see him because you have your computer on news.
Oh, he's having mac and cheese?
Gross.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese. Maybe I'll have that tomorrow. I just had a sandwich today. But I did have Applebee's mac and cheese the other day. I hadn't had that in a long time. All right. Captain B Slow, I know how you like to ride bikes, so I found a ride that you can do. You're going to have to get in really good shape for this, but so a cyclist did a 2,500 mile.
Call me fat.
No, but are you ready? Can you do a 2,500 mile bike ride right now?
No, my record is an 80.
So you have ways to go. Well, but this guy, though, the cyclist raising money for relief, said he rode exactly 69 miles per day, and he traveled from Poo Poo Point in Washington State to
Did you say poo-poo?
he traveled from Poo Poo Point in Washington State to Pee Pee Creek in Ohio. So he
Really? Poo-poo and pee-pee?
Those are actual places.
Are those real places?
they are real places. What the headline says: cyclist rides 2,500 miles from Poo Poo Point to Pee Pee Creek.
You know, it's not just the fact that it's Poo Poo Point in Pee Pee Creek. It's the fact that he went 69 miles every day.
Every day he's going
From
69
poo-poo
miles.
to pee-pee.
Yep, 69 miles. His trip is still not over. He's planning to complete his 5,000-mile journey at Pee Island in Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm going from a poo-poo to a pee.
Wow.
Yep, he's been planning to participate in several bike tours this year, but they're all canceled due to COVID, so he decided to take on his meme ride as a way to raise money. So that's awesome. I just thought, when I read that, I'm like, that's hilarious.
Sometimes when you're 69, you do go from a poo-poo to a pee-pee.
It's true. What?
It's the Cocoa Dog.
He said it's true.
I thought you were talking about age for a minute, and then I'm like, wait, you're not talking about that.
No, I'm not.
It's true. Wait, what?
Wait, what? What am I saying? It's true too. Yeah, I gotta listen more carefully.
No.
I always gotta throw a Guinness World Record in there. So this one's kind of interesting. So maybe you're like, I want to break a record. I'm a good runner, but I'm definitely not gonna break the mile record. So what can I do that I can break? So this kid, a Pakistani athlete, broke the Guinness World Record for fastest mile while dribbling a basketball when he completed the feat with a time of 6 minutes and 1 second. But when you think about it, that actually...
You can't even do that without a basketball.
I know, like, to run a 6-minute mile and you're dribbling the whole time, like, do you know how fast?
Okay.
You're going pretty fast still. So that is an impressive feat. Wow, that's really impressive. So that's our Guinness World Record news for the day. Ooh, and then the moose. In Idaho, in a middle school, while classes were in session, a giant moose came and visited them. So the middle school actually had to devise a special plan on how they could get the students out of the building. I think at the end of the day, when they played host to an unexpected guest, the moose. So
Well, if they just give it dinner, it'd go swimming in the water. Eating
Yeah.
his supper.
Where did he go? But,
Fell asleep.
Yep, the moose wandered into the middle school campus and decided to stick around. The students are safe, and the school had to devise a release plan so they could get them to the bus, the parent pickup line, and exit to campus. Obviously,
Hopefully
So-
they kept the moose in social distance so you don't get moose corona.
And
The moose.
they said
Swimming in the water.
They said the moose had no interest in the humans at all, it seemed. So the guy had been great about staying socially distanced, they said, but they couldn't find a mask that would fit him. But no, just this huge moose is literally they're showing a picture of him at the school. He's just laying down in the grass, just like, And then
Can you
last,
imagine going to school where your evacuation plan includes moose?
I know. Well, I understand that. I'm just kidding. But I know that's just kind of crazy. I mean, they wasn't like evacuating because of the danger. It's just they had to figure out how to keep the kids away when they were leaving school because you don't want to upset a moose. Those things are big. All right, guys. Do you guys like to eat at Subway?
Yes.
I like to eat at Subway too. But guess what? This is interesting. An Irish court. The Irish Supreme Court, actually. This made its way to the Supreme Court. Things must not be that exciting in Ireland. Ruled that the bread used for sandwiches at Subway is not legal bread. It cannot be legally defined as bread because...
Wait, what?
All right, the Irish Supreme Court ruled that bread used for sandwiches at Subways cannot be legally defined as bread because it contains too much sugar. How did this make its way up to the Supreme Court? Do they have nothing better to do there? So,
It has sugar
Well, they were
in it.
probably drunk. They had a little too much Guinness.
that's
All the
true.
clothes.
But they're hearing an appeal from Subway franchisee on whether the bread for the chain sandwiches would count as a staple food that is exempt from, I guess, a value-added tax of 1972. So the 5-judge court ruled that Subway's bread is not legally defined as bread. because its sugar content is 10% of the weight of the flour used to make the dough, far more than the 2% specified for the legal definition of bread.
I didn't even know there was a legal definition of bread.
At least in Ireland, maybe not here. I don't know. So, but the argument depends on the acceptance of the prior intention that the Subway heated sandwich contains bread is defined and therefore can be said to be food for the purpose of the second schedule rather than confectionery. Since that argument has been rejected, the subsidiary argument must fail, the court ruled. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny.
What are you doing to my lemur?
I'm not doing anything.
Why?
Why not?
Mess with your own stuffies.
Because your fiance has ADHD.
Oh, she's not even talking to me. I was wondering why we were talking about a lemur.
Dustin's not looking at the camera, so he's missing it all.
B Slow's trying to jerk off a lemur, and then he's showing an octopus's ass. And
all right, I'll take a look at the screen here.
well, now he's eating mac and cheese. So,
so this lemur stuff's all
That's
made
not
up.
my lemur.
Lemur, Emer, and Be Slow. I don't know if the lemur's name is Emer, but anyway, that is the news. And now it is time for a special edition of the Game of the Week.
We lost Josh.
he's here.
Political edition.
See his ear.
All right. So, as many of you know by now, the debate was this week.
The biggest joke of a debate I've ever seen.
It was a train wreck. Choo-choo. Dumpster fire.
Now, I don't do politics, but I was told it was a shit show.
It was bad.
So,
On all sides.
Yes, it was bad.
now, I don't have any political affiliation. I could give two shits less who wins the fucking presidential. See, could be Biden, could be Trump, could be a third party, could be Snoopy, could be Batman. It could be Grimace. I don't really give a shit.
I prefer Snoopy.
But at this point, I thought, hey, let's make fun of this shit. So, today's Game of the Week, we're going to do the Idiotz Debate.
The Idiotz Debate.
Oh, it's you.
I should have wore the Iron Man
I'm just
suit.
wearing this.
I'm actually.
My fellow Americans, we're
Whoa.
gonna vote Texas for president in 2024.
Can support that. It would be a huge bonus to this country if you would all just vote Texas.
So, moderating this shit show is going to be J Hizzle. J Hizzle, why don't you introduce our candidates here?
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the stage, or the screen, I guess, as it would be. So, first we have Captain B Slow.
Dante.
Yep. He'll be running for president of the United States of America. One of his challengers, the always dressed nice, dressed to impress, Texas.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I believe you.
And then our third party candidate, the Guzzlebird.
He squeaks.
Fuck yeah, I do. I can't wait for this shit show.
Guzzlebird, do you like to be addressed as Guzzle, or would you like to be addressed as Guzzlebird?
I would like to be addressed as Mr. Guzzlebird, sir.
We'll see. That's a lot of talking.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we have some different topics to discuss. So let's see here. I'm going to start with reading a question, and then I'll let you know who gets to answer it.
Shut up, man.
Actually, I'm going to start with Texas. Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Hizzle.
That was a family fight.
Over the last 4 years, Texas, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare. But you've never in these 4 years come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. You in the course of these 4 years have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. And just last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect the people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before the debate. So Texas, this is my question. Is that what a Texas healthcare plan is?
Racist.
That is absolutely not what a Texas healthcare is. First off, I will take away the
Shut up,
mandatory requirements of the Obamacare. Sir, will you let me finish? To the point where if you can't afford it, you don't have to pay for it, like Obama made everyone do. Secondly, I will make sure that every pre-existing condition is taken care of via... Will someone please slap the ADD guy?
Captain B Slow. This is Texas's time. Please don't distract him with your lemur.
Agreed.
I'm not. Do I look like a lemur?
With the other stuff I've had to deal with in the last 4 years, with riots and natural disasters and COVID, and we're in a pandemic. I don't have time, but in the next 4 years, it will be taken care of promptly.
All right. Just curious, how do you define if someone can or can't afford healthcare and to give them free healthcare?
Well, considering my previous job, when they switched to Obamacare, I lost my health insurance because it was too expensive. But then on my taxes, I had to pay for health insurance because I couldn't afford it. I had to pay a penalty for not being able to afford health care. So I will do away with any penalty fees.
No muting involved. I muted myself.
Texas, that's a good answer. All
Considering
right.
none of these politicians have ever actually had their hands dirty and worked for anything in their life, they don't know what it's like to be a real person.
Move. Be quiet, buddy.
That's true. That's true.
Moose, hush.
Who brought the dog on here?
Where is he? Can you see him?
All right. Mr. Guzzlebird, sir. This one's for you.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Guzzlebird, sir. If the Senate Republicans, talking about the Supreme Court here, if the Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there have been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the courts, adding to the already 9 Supreme Court justices, which is how it's always been. You call this distraction by President Texas, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in Bird Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the Supreme Court?
Well, that's a good point. And
He just wants to destroy this country.
will you shut the fuck up, dickhead? So, I remember my first filibuster. I was 12, and I went to Dave & Buster's.
Okay, so you support a filibuster.
Let me finish, goddammit.
Oh,
He doesn't know how to finish.
go ahead, Mr. Guzzlebird, sir.
I finished on your filibuster, you fucker. Anyways.
I don't know how to finish. Sorry.
I went to Dave & Buster's and I got those tickets for playing skee-ball, and it made me think. Sometimes I think we need more people because, like, there's not enough people to make decisions, and sometimes 9 is not enough, but sometimes 11's too many. So I like the number 13.
Well, he's doing the odd number. I thought you were going to say 10 for a minute.
Well, no, because then it's a fucking filibuster, stupid.
All right. Captain B, with that same question, how do you feel about packing the Supreme Court and the filibuster?
The Supreme Court is just a way for them to destroy our Constitution, to take our gun rights away from us, to force us into what they want. They would never put an impartial judge on that court. They would make it so that judge would perform the way they want so they can move us into communism. Screw them. 9 it is. 9 it stays.
All right.
If I may,
Go ahead, Texas.
I agree with my opponent, B Slow there. It should be an odd number, and 9 is a perfect number because, and the fact that the Supreme Court nominee that I put in, it is my constitutional right to nominate a Supreme Court justice. And if you want proof, it is in the Constitution. The appointment clause, Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2. President shall nominate and with the advice of the consent of the Senate, shall appoint judges.
All right. Guys, we're going to...
Could very well come down.
I think Guzzlebird wants to impeach you for following the Constitution. With that.
If I may, sir, let me finish my thought.
All right, guys. We are on a time limit here. We are going to have to move on to subjects, but when you get your turn, you may say whatever you want to say, but I recommend staying on the subject because the second subject is COVID-19, which is an awfully serious subject. So, guys, let's try to be serious here.
Oh.
We've had more than 7 million cases of coronavirus in the United States, and more than 200,000 people have died. Even after we produce a vaccine, experts say it could take months, even years before we come back to anything approaching normal.
But what's the percentage on that?
My question for all of you is based on what you have said and done so far and what you have said you would do starting in 2021. Why should the American people trust you more than your opponents to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case, the question goes to you first, Captain B Slow.
I'm doing math over here.
I will take his question first.
I've never seen anyone decline.
I got it. All right, let's do this. All right. So you said there's 7 million cases and 200,000 deaths. Do you know what the percentage of dying is? 0.0002%. That is far less than the average flu. Therefore, open everything up. You know what? If you feel like you want to stay home, that's your choice. If you're a business that wants to close, that's your choice. Everyone needs to be made a decision. You don't need to punish the healthy. That's it.
I'm just checking to see if you did your math right. Wait, how'd you come up with your percentage?
If I may, let me say my part.
Yeah, but you got to that would be
Make sure I did the right number.
That'd be 200,000 divided
Biden math over
I
there.
did 700 million.
divided by 7 million, which should be 0.0285, which is 2.85%.
Still less than the flu.
Still less than the flu. I just
All
did
right.
700 million. I put too many zeros.
Like that doesn't seem right. All right, so you would just open everything up and say, "Go at it, America. Let's do this."
Yep, the flu is worse, and we don't shut down for the flu.
All right, Texas.
If you're scared, stay home. You have DoorDash. You have Shipt. You have all these other places. You don't have to leave your home for anything. Stay home.
Excuse me, Captain Slow.
Texas,
It is
what
my
would you do?
time.
What?
I
wasn't
completely agree with my opponent. The government is not responsible for your health. The government is responsible for keeping your constitutional rights in place.
Yes.
This pandemic has a 6% death for only COVID. The rest of them have underlying conditions such as heart attack, diabetes, liver disease, heart disease, motorcycle accidents, suicides, gunshots. 6% is only from COVID. The government's job is not to secure your health. It is to secure your constitutional freedoms. And by
That's
closing your businesses by this bullcrap pandemic, it has put many of people out of business, out of work. Before this pandemic, our economics was the best it's been in a really long time, with the lowest amount of unemployment for minorities and women. And now all of a sudden, our unemployment has jumped up dramatically for a virus that really, 6% of only COVID deaths is nothing. Open
I
everything
like
up.
my opponent.
If you want to go outside and you feel like you want to wear a mask, fine. If you want to stay inside, fine. Do not punish the people who are not afraid.
All right, and Mr. Guzzlebird, sir, how would you handle COVID in 2021?
Well, the first things first. I think the mask thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
So, my whole theory on the whole thing, and I've been saying this from the beginning, if you end up just being around people with it, eventually you're going to build an tolerance like you do for every other disease and flu and hepatitis and HIV, and then you won't have this problem.
All right.
So, I'm not done yet, goddammit. You gave them all 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or whatever bullshit this is.
Yeah, but then you went quiet for a minute. I figured that was the end.
I need a breath. You know how hard it is to do this fucking voice?
Sorry.
So anyways, you need to do the herd immunity. Now look, in China, there's people that wear masks for stuff all the time. I know this. I've been there. It's great. It's where I came from. That's where they sell my shit in. And you know what? If you want to wear it, that's fine. We're not going to make it a mandate. Okay? Second of all, if we're going to have vaccines, it's going to be your choice. Will it work? Will it not work? I don't want to put anything in my body that's going to have a 100% effective rate. If not, fuck it. Get rid of it. Not worth it. I'm not going to put some goddamn chip in me or any other bullshit. But that's how we're going to do it. Then we need to help the economy. We need to make sure we're back on our feet. If we need people that need to get their stuff going, they can get it going. But we need to stop this unemployment bullshit. If you can work, find somewhere to work. And that's all I got to say about that.
I agree with Guzzlebird.
Wow. It looks like all three of you are pretty similar in this topic. All right. Texas. You have often said that you believe you will have done more for Black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question to all of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponents to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? And Texas, we'll start with you again.
Like I said previously, before the pandemic, the unemployment for minorities in this country were at an all-time low, even lower than when President Obama was in office. Everything was going smoothly until the Democrats forced everyone to stay home and took away their jobs. Yes, there is some racism out there, and you cannot say that there isn't. But to say that every cop is a racist is dead wrong. Yes, there are some bad apples, and they need to be taken care of and held accountable. But not every police officer is a bad person. Just like every Trump supporter is not a racist, inbred asshole, just like every Biden supporter is not a pedophile.
All right.
Just because somebody believes something different than you does not make them racist, does not make them xenophobic, homophobic, whatever the one is that you don't agree with women. Just because you don't agree with them does not make you any of those.
Misogynistic.
Thank you, Guzzle.
Mr. Guzzlebird, sir, how would you answer that question? Why should voters think that you will handle racist issues the best?
Well, my thing is that we all need to be treated equal. Every single one of us. As a person of color myself.
Yep.
Horizontally striped.
As a person of color myself, I stand with my minority community, the Latinos, the Blacks, the Asians, all of them. But as my opponent said, you know, we're all not racist. Not all Black people are racist. Not all white people are racist. Not all Asian people are racist. Not cops are racist. But, you know, we need to take everything by a case-by-case basis. Haha, I rhymed.
Thank you, Mr. Guzzlebird, sir. Captain B Slow, what about you?
Well, racism is not a huge problem in this country. It exists. It's out there. And there are bad apples. I agree with Guzzlebird. It needs to be handled on a case-by-case basis. There is a thing called hate crime. And if somebody does a hate crime, they should be charged as so, which also includes this race intimidation. Don't try to take rights away from one or the other. Don't try to say that one person, like the Democrats try to say, the black community is too stupid to be able to help themselves, so we need to help them. So who's the racist party? The Democrats are. They're the ones that are convincing the ghetto that they cannot help themselves. But what I want to do is I want to create these opportunities, make these people in these minority communities be able to get out and help themselves and be able to work on their own and not live off of the government.
Nice. And quick follow-up question for all three of you. I imagine you'll feel the same way. Do you agree that we should be reimagining policing and changing policing, or would you say keep it as is and maybe improve training?
Who would you like to go first?
We'll start with Captain B.
I believe absolutely it should be changed. Not drastically. Policing in itself is great. What you need to do is you need to stop restricting police and let them do their jobs, and we need to have prosecutors that don't drop charges on everybody. Training, that's huge. There's no funding in policing. Everybody thinks there's all this money, but these agencies don't have money. They are piss poor. They can't even staff the road to make calls, let alone be able to put money into training. If you want to do, the community needs to put that money forward to train your officers. The better trained the officers are, the better that they can do. So I believe that more training, the better. And not just any kind of training, not just offensive tactics and legal law, every type of training that you can put them through. So that way each individual officer on the road has a broad range of training where they can better serve the community. And policing should be focused on community policing, not going out and stopping crime. I believe they should be on foot. They should go through the communities. They should shake hands. They should go door to door. Hey, I just want to know if there's anything that I can help with. Is there any problem somewhere? That needs to be more of the basis for training. That needs to happen more of, and that way it builds more community trust as well.
Nice. Mr. Guzzlebird, sir, how do you feel about policing? Would you think it needs to be reimagined, changed, or is it good as it is?
Well, I think the first thing is we need to go through state by state and get rid of all these stupid-ass laws, because there's some that have been on the books for ages. That would be the first thing. The second thing I would do is we need to see which things that we need to strongly enforce and which things that need to be get rid of that way. Because there's some things that, I mean, like, let's look at it. Eventually, weed's going to be illegal or going to be legal everywhere. Why are we going after it? You know? Once we do that, then I think the other thing is we have that little bit of people that have that little bit of moral and ethical problem. I think that they need to be trained a little better so that way everybody across the board has that. That way we can, pick and choose. They should know whether or not it's right or wrong, so we don't have these problems that we've had lately with the riots and all this other bullshit. Other than that, I think police are doing a great job. They've done a lot for the community. I know most people only see the bad, but other than that, I think they're doing great.
Thank you, Mr. Guzzlebird. Sir, Texas, how would you answer that question?
Well, I think this is a fantastic question, and I thank you for asking it, J Hizzle.
You're welcome.
Political.
I do believe that policing does need to be changed, but like B Slow said, not by a lot, a little bit. And what I think we need to do is we need to, instead of defund the police, we need to refund the police so that they have proper money for training and etiquette, as Guzzlebird said, etiquette training. And also, I think all of these so-called role model sports athletes need to go through some kind of police training where you have to decide in a second or two between a life or death situation and then see how they feel after they have a paintball shoved up their ass.
Nice.
I agree. Everybody who thinks that the police are so bad needs to go through the same type of training they do. There's a thing called the Milo system out there. And what that is, it's basically real life. It's a video game, but it's real life. There's someone controlling, and it's real life samples, and you have those split-second decisions. And everybody should go through that. And then maybe like, oh my goodness, they're not racist after all.
All right. I appreciate everyone's answer on that. We're now going to switch topics. All right. The forest fires in the West are raging. They have burnt millions of acres. They have displaced hundreds of thousands of people. When state officials there, like in California, blame the fires on climate change, Texas, you said, I don't think science knows. Over 4 years, you have pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord. You have rolled back a number of Obama environmental records. What do you believe about the science of climate change, and what will you do in the next 4 years to confront it? Texas, this goes to you first.
I have to tell you, climate is my one weak point in this whole thing. But I do appreciate you asking this question.
Honesty.
What?
Honesty.
Oh, honesty. I do believe that the climate is changing a little bit because as of lately, we have been getting more and more devastating hurricanes, more and more devastating tornadoes, more and more floods, more and more blizzards, more and more weather fronts where it's negative 40 degrees. So the weather is changing somewhat. But I did pull us out of those deals because they were bad deals for us. We were paying to help save the rest of the world when they were not paying to save themselves. And we need to take that money and we need to put it and invest it back into American shit.
To America, okay.
Well worded.
All right. Mr. Guzzlebird, sir, how do you feel about climate change?
Good job, great portfolio.
Confront it.
Well, now that Texas are done sucking your dick down there, I'm very sad about climate because the fires are going and all my cousins are without homes now because the trees are burned. God damn it.
Are you a California bird?
Mr. Guzzlebird, I would ask that you would watch the GDs during the election or during the debate. I'm not trying to censor you, sir, but some people are offended by the GD. Everything else is fine.
Man.
Everything else is fine.
Hey,
Just
you know
watch
what?
the GD.
So,
Please.
I got to tell you, I have a great idea for this climate change stuff. So, the other day, I was watching this movie called Geostorm. So, I'm thinking we'll get satellites and we'll put them all around the world, and this is going to stop all these natural disasters. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, until somebody hacks it and then destroys the world with the satellite.
Don't tell them the plot. I didn't finish the fucking movie.
All right, so Mr. Guzzlebird,
My
sir.
apologies, Mr. Guzzlebird. I should have said spoilers.
Captain B, how do you feel about climate change, and what would you do to confront it?
Oh, climate change, it happens. It's natural. If you look at the way the climate's done in the last couple hundred years has been recorded, this is a normal cycle. This is not caused by us. What do trees breathe in? We exhale. What cars exhale? So then that's it. And what do we breathe in? What the trees exhale. It's the way life goes. Trees reduce pollution.
Now, Captain Slow, I do have to ask, trees reduce pollution, but over the last few decades, the amount of forest fires and deforestation is destroying our natural habitats and the trees within it.
Do you know what's caused the forest fires in California?
Gender reveal gone wrong.
Well, that started, but you know why it's been going on for so many years?
Smokey and the Bears will play with themselves.
The government, they're so green, they will not allow the Forest Service to come through and clean up the forest, which in turn creates all these dead woods, leaves, everything on the ground, which turn it into nothing but kindling. So a cigarette butt turns into 1 million acres. If they would just allow the Forest Service to do their job, these wildfires won't happen to the extent that they do. They're not caused by any climate change. The ozone layer, in fact, has repaired itself. There's not even a hole anymore.
That is a very good point on the forest cleanup, B Slow. I totally agree with you on that one.
So I mean that's going to fix that issue and the increased hurricanes and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe the apocalypse is coming. We've all read Revelations. Maybe it's going to happen.
Yeah, important follow-up question for all three of you. Have any of you considered that maybe all the crazy weather phenomena in 2020 are just caused by Jumanji?
Yes, for someone just in the game and win already.
I've yet to see a rhino.
I have only seen
no rhino yet.
I have only seen the one with Robin Williams. I have not seen the Rock one yet, so don't spoil them for me. But it could be Jumanji.
I know.
They pushed Kevin Hart out of a helicopter. Fuck you.
I was just kidding. I have seen them. I was actually pretending to be Trump, but thank you for that, Guzzlebird.
All right. Well, as we conclude tonight's debate, I got one last important question for all of you. So until we find out who the new president is, I hope neither of you will interrupt the other, which you guys have actually been way better than what I hear other candidates have been.
This is probably the most polite debate you've ever heard.
Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period, not to engage in any civil unrest? And will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified, even if that means it takes weeks or months after the election to count all the mail-in ballots? We will start with Mr. Guzzlebird, sir.
Okay. So, I thought we were going to talk about why they should vote for us, but
you know what? You may also, as you say, if you'll accept or not, you may also say why you think people should vote for you over your components. Go for it.
Okay, so I want everybody to obviously stay calm. We'll figure this out. But in this time, all men are created equal. But you look at me and you look at my opponents, and you'll see that with them, there's usually a 33% chance of winning. But then you add me, and their numbers drastically go down.
Not good at math.
So that gives me a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning. So at the election day, when you take all those numbers, I'm going to have 143 and a 1/3% chance of winning. God damn it, I can't do it anymore. Vote for me. Guzzlebird. Guzzlebird.
Wow.
Guzzlebird.
Thank you very much,
Guzzlebird.
Mr. Guzzlebird, sir. All right, Captain B, what about you? Why should they vote for you? Will you tell everyone to stay calm, even if it takes a while to count everything, and not declare victory until it's a certified win?
You don't want civil unrest. All you're doing is burning down your own communities. Why in the hell would you want to do that? Are you that stupid?
I'm asking you, sir.
Just stay calm, and all the mail-in ballots need to be counted, including the ones that were tossed in the trash that voted for me, because it's already happened. So they need to stop it. That's why everyone needs to go in person and vote, so we can get a quicker determination. Everyone needs to stay calm and don't let Nancy Pelosi become president. She's evil.
No, nobody wants that.
No.
All right, Texas.
Oh, vote for me. I'm awesome.
You get the final say.
If you can go to the store and stand in line, you can go to the polling ballots and vote for me, Texas, for 2024. And please, keep calm. We can't have anybody freaking out there. We got to keep our composure. We've come too far to lose it now. We've got to keep our composure.
Oh, he's stripping.
Texas, 2024.
All right, that concludes tonight's debate. I think actually more complete sentences and information was given out tonight than in the real presidential debate.
We're more presidential, guys. Vote for us.
All right.
Poddamn.
That was actually pretty fun. All right. Well, that concludes our game of the week.
I had to channel my inner old school on that one.
And now we are gonna go.
I love your Mario outfit, Rick.
It's great.
Love it.
It's me,
Mario.
Do a little bit of some sports, which there's definitely some sports news.
My apologies. My headset got caught up in my vest when I took it off.
It happens sometimes.
I'm just glad I didn't see your nipples.
Texas, what's happening in the sports world? I know there's some big news, exciting news.
Don't worry about it. You'll see it on the podcast.
We are on the podcast.
So, for the
Wasn't
first
talking
time
to
in
us.
For the first time in many years, Tampa Bay finally changed its name from the Tampa Bay Chokers back to the Tampa Bay Lightning as they won the 2020 Stanley Cup,
Woo!
beating the Dallas Stars 4-1 in the series.
I think it was 4-2.
Was it 4-2? That was
Yep.
4-1.
Yeah, it's 2.
Because Dallas, it would have been 4-1, but Dallas.
They won the
had-
first game and the 5th game.
Yep.
My apologies.
It had to be 4-2 because it was game 6.
Ah,
Yep.
yeah. Also, in the world of sports, NASCAR had its first race of the round of 12 this past Sunday, in which Kyle Busch won, which kind of threw the round of 12 into a chaos, considering Kyle Busch was 12th at the beginning of the race, and now he's advanced on to the round of 8 with the win. This weekend they are at Talladega.
Woohoo!
If you're not first, you're last.
Bobby!
And baseball has started its playoffs, which they have 16 teams in instead of the normal 8. And so far, the Houston Astros swept the Minnesota Twins and moved on.
And the Twins didn't even put up a fight, did they?
They did not. The Yankees swept the Indians and moved on. One second, my phone's being slow. I do apologize.
Happens to the best of us.
The Braves have swept the Reds and moved on. The Athletics beat the White Sox to move on. The Athletics will now be playing the Astros, while the Yankees will be playing the Tampa Bay Rays, who swept the Blue Jays. And in the so
Ooh, nobody likes the Yankees.
they
Except
do
for
not.
me.
I hope the Tampa Bay Rays beat them.
The Rays are pretty good this year, so there's a good chance of that.
They were first in their division, and they were the first seed overall. So
Wouldn't it
it
be
is a
something if
possibility.
2 Tampa Bay teams won the same year? I'm going to cheer for that, mate. Well, I mean, I do like the Astros, but Verlander's injured, so I'm pissed.
Technically, they're saying that there's 3 Tampa Bay teams that could win the championship this year: the Lightning, the Buccaneers, and the Devil Rays.
That's not happening.
Hey, they have Tom Brady. Anything's possible.
Here's the thing: is not Tom Brady. Like the Patriots are showing that it's that defense that won it.
I don't know. I have to say Cam Newton's running style is kind of helping them win. But
All right.
other than that, I really don't got much else for sports right now.
Well, I have some.
Wait, I do have one more. There was an ARCA race last week where the first ever female driver won an ARCA race.
Arca.
The hell is an ARCA
Are you
race?
sure about that?
What's
I
an
am
Arca
positive.
race?
I mean, are you sure she's the first ever female driver to win?
I
It's an
believe
Arca
so.
race.
It's a type of race.
Really?
It's the league below the truck series.
Oh.
Because I know that the only reason I ask is I know Haley Deegan was the first woman driver to win a NASCAR event, but it might have not been ARCA. It might have been something else. So that's exciting. That's really cool.
Her name was Gracie Trotter, and she became the first female to win a race sanctioned by ARCA,
Good for her.
when she captured the Arca Menards West race Saturday at the Bull Rig at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
You were right about that. 'Cause
Suck it.
Haley Deegan's win was she was the first female to win a K&N Pro Series race, which is a NASCAR sanctioned race. So that is really cool. What is her name again?
Gracie Trotter, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, she's trending. So,
Other
To
than
me,
that, I
NASCAR
don't.
will always be Craftsman Truck, Busch Series, and Winston Cup. It will always be that to me.
I don't really have. Oh, wait, actually, I do. I apologize. Man, NASCAR announced its 2021 race season, and they added quite a few interesting races to it.
did they?
So
They did.
they did. So one of the races, they're going to have a Bristol race on dirt. And considering a lot of these drivers have not driven on dirt or have ever driven on dirt, that's going to be a really interesting one to see. Also, they added a road course of the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, that was made for Formula One. That should be interesting to watch as well.
I think Tony Stewart's to make an appearance for the dirt one. He's good at dirt racing. Show them all up.
That could be true. They also added new races in Nashville at the Nashville Super Speedway, at Road of Americas in Wisconsin, and even the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is going to have a road course this year.
I'm excited for it to go to Wisconsin. It's gonna be cool.
You were supposed to come down here until I told you about that one in Wisconsin.
Who knows where I'll go because that's next year. But I mean, I've been on that racetrack, so pretty much when they race there,
Okay, that is all I have for sports.
yep, I've been there. I got one more thing to add, just because I want to just say it's kind of sad news, but it's been made official. We knew it was gonna happen, but Jimmy Howard will not be coming back with the Detroit Red Wings this upcoming season. And Jimmy Howard's been one of my favorite players. I've watched him from the time he was in Grand Rapids to all the way up to the Red Wing system, and I just really enjoyed watching him play, and he seems like a really nice guy. And so I'd just like to say thank you, Jimmy, for all the hard work you put in. He's actually like third all-time Red Wings goalies in wins, and I think like fourth in shutouts. He is number one all-time in saves. That tells you how bad the defense has been over the last many years. So
Well, I was I was looking at the top free agents they have for this offseason, and they had them in tiers, tier 1, tier 2. Not a single Red Wing was in the top 4 tiers.
oh,
It was Jimmy Howard in the 5th tier of their free agents. So that just proves they don't have any good players. They have announced that they're getting rid of Jonathan Erickson and
oh yeah, but yeah,
Trevor Daly.
yeah, that's great. I mean, Daly wasn't with us for too long. Erickson had some good years, so thank you, Erickson, for your hard work. But I'm really gonna miss Jimmy Howard. I would have preferred they just he had a bad year, but I would prefer they just re-sign him and let him retire at Red Wings.
He didn't have a bad year. He had the world's worst defense.
Oh, he had a bad year though. Trust me.
Sorry, I keep saying I have nothing else, but I was looking up the top prospects for the NHL draft, which is next week on the 6th and 7th. And that Russian goaltender I was telling you guys about has moved from 9th to 6th
Ooh.
in
Steve
the top
Eisman-
prospects.
Steve
And
Eisman said he's going to take probably the best of who he thinks is the best available, regardless of position, because he said the Red Wings just need to rebuild through the draft, and he basically said the next 2 to 3 years he doesn't really expect anything good to happen as far as like the Red Wings winning a lot, because he's just going to be rebuilding and stocking, and then he's going to go from there.
I totally trust Yzerman. His team just won the Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He basically built that team up from nothing when he went there, and I have full faith in Steve Yzerman.
I just don't want to wait that long, but no, I agree.
What's next?
So, all right. Well, that is sports. And now it is time that we move on to the top 5.
Five.
All right. since we're, kind of debating about presidents and stuff like that, that's what we're going to be debating about in the top 5. So we're going to go over everyone's favorite top 5 presidents. And we will start with good old Texas in San Marcos, Texas.
All right, this one was kind of difficult because we didn't really live through a lot of presidents. As a matter of fact, we've only had like 3 since we've been of age to know any better, and that was Bush, Obama, and then Trump.
I remember Clinton.
I knew Clinton.
Well, that was before it was really important to us
We
because
lived
we were
through
still
Reagan, too.
we were still in
liked-
school.
I've liked politics since I was a little kid. I'm weird.
Well, good for you. You're weird. Anyway, so my number 5, JFK.
Solid.
Number 4, President numero uno, George Washington.
I agree.
Number 2, Ronald Reagan.
Did you have a number 3?
Sorry, that was number 3. I apologize. I skipped. Number 2 is Abraham Lincoln. And number 1, and this is really going to be a very unpopular opinion for some people, because our unemployment was the lowest it's been and our economics is the highest it's been in some time, I have to go with Trump as number 1.
Wow. All right. You think I'm the best president ever? That's what a lot of people say about me. They say, Trump, you're number 1. And maybe I'm not better than Lincoln, but maybe I am. I don't know.
Okay, but you have to remember, before that, it was Obama, and I don't really think I ever had a job under Bush. I can't quite remember. That sounded really bad. If I was employed when the last George W. Bush was a president, so going from losing my health insurance to not only losing my health insurance, but now having more taxes back, I gotta go with Trump.
Sounds good to me. Captain B,
And
do
the
you
rest
have
of them
Trump
were
in your top 5?
The rest of them weren't even alive. So
All
not
my presidents are people that have done things historically for the betterment of this country.
Like Trump.
I'll do an honorable mention of Donald Trump.
Thank you. Everyone likes to honor me.
He has done a lot for the country, for policing, for the economy, for the small man.
I think it's safe to say no one's ever done more than Trump.
Well, my number 5 is Theodore Teddy Roosevelt. My number 4 is going to be Ronald Reagan. My number 3 is going to be the guy who got us through Civil War, Ulysses S. Grant. My number 2 is going to be the guy that founded this country, Mr. George Washington. And you all know what my number 1 is.
Polk.
Abraham Lincoln. My hero.
What
Every
about
single
Trump?
one of these presidents are ones that believe the Constitution should be followed to the T, and that they should not have a thought politically that violated any part of the Constitution.
I will admit those are all pretty good picks.
Mhm.
What about you, Rick Spade? Do you love Donald Trump?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Am I too orange for you, Rick?
You remind me of that Cheeto. Anyways, so because he said presidents, keyword there, presidents. So my number 5 is the former president of Iceland, Svein Borgensen. Number 4 is the president of China, Xi Jinping. My number 3
He's an
is
idiot.
I have a great relationship with him, though. Just saying.
No, I'm sorry, President Trump. You do not. It's Biden that does.
No,
Yeah.
I get along with him. Sometimes I have to be mean to him, but I respect him.
my number 3 is John F. Kennedy. My number 2 is Ronald Reagan. And my number 1 is the former president of WCW, Eric Bischoff. And that is my top 5 presidents.
I
boy.
love it.
It's what we call a loophole.
All right. My one honorable mention will be Donald Trump, just because I will say that he got more people interested in paying attention to politics probably than any other president has, it seems.
I love how you're trying to put him in everybody's top 5, but you made him an honorable mention.
Yeah, I don't. He's not in my top 5, but number 5, JFK. Number 4, he's just personally one of my favorites. I just like the guy a lot. George W. Bush. In fact, like as far as like my like he might be higher in my favorites, but best probably not. He's just a good guy. I like him. Number 3, George Washington. Number 2, Ronald Reagan. And obviously, number 1, I agree with Captain B Slow here, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And this is kind of interesting, but there actually is there's some official rankings for presidents. I don't know how they exactly do this. So Presidential Historian Survey, last taken in 2017. The number 1 president, actually I'll count down from 5. In 5th place was Dwight Eisenhower. In 4th place was Theodore Roosevelt. In 3rd place was Franklin D. Roosevelt. In 2nd place was George Washington. And in 1st place, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, buddy.
Sorry, dog had to go outside.
In case you were wondering, my actual 5 presidents were Kennedy, Reagan, Carter, Nixon, and Lincoln. Not in that order.
Lincoln, yeah.
He's number 1 for sure. So, all
Okay,
right.
Fine. I'll switch Trump from 1 to whatever Abraham was.
You can have if you. I mean,
1 to 2. Trump is 2 and
Okay.
Abe's 1.
I mean, you can do what you want. I know you're saying that I didn't live with the other ones, and of all the presidents, Trump's made the biggest positive difference in your life. That's very fair. So that is definitely very fair. But all right. Well, now that we've done a little bit of top 5, it's time for one of those copy segments that I like to call Cop Talk. And now, it's time for Cop Talk. Ugh, tasers hurt. Ugh, tasers hurt.
I don't have a lot, guys.
Those tasers hurt so bad.
But they
Yeah.
feel so good.
It feels so good.
Get
But
to it. Oh, no.
what happened?
Got it. Okay. I don't really have a whole lot. Let's see if I can find my story here.
Just tell me a story.
I'll tell you.
You know
September
the
was
one that-
National Suicide Awareness Month. And
We did have that serious discussion about suicide. Remember, if you're
It's gonna be
feeling
quick.
like you want to do it, don't do it because you're not taking away your pain. You're just transferring it to somebody else.
That's very
Right.
Call somebody.
And if you think you see a friend, like you say something to them, that one thing might change them. In law enforcement, the law enforcement suicide is a whole lot more than the on-duty deaths. And it's a stat that's not recorded so much, and it should be recorded. And I only got one more thing as soon as I can find. There we go. All right. This was not in Florida, guys.
Was it in Ohio?
Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Oh.
People spotted an emu on the loose near Walnut Square School Wednesday morning. Liberty Mutual wasn't even filming its latest commercial there.
Emu.
So who let Limu Emu out when they weren't even filming a commercial? And it found out the bird was just running around all on its own. Animal Control had to capture it.
Did it have glasses on? That would have been hilarious if it did.
You see that?
Oh, wow. There he is.
There he is.
That's
Emu,
crazy.
Limu?
I actually enjoy those commercials. They crack me up. Do
That's all I got this week.
you think they use a real emu in those commercials?
For some of it, yes. For
Some,
others,
yeah.
I could see it to be a puppet.
Because it's so funny. He has his glasses on. He's like,
Speaking of puppets, how you doing?
What up?
oh, are we getting you live today?
Puppetville.
Yeah,
Wow.
I actually had a news story.
Whoa. All right, let's hear it.
Drunk, naked Ohio woman arrested after front yard fight.
Oh.
Imagine waking up to the sound of two women fighting outside at 4:25 in the morning. That's when neighbors woke up to on Cedar Road in University Heights, according to Cleveland.com.
They're on your side.
At 4:25 a.m., September 19th, police were dispatched to the residence on a report of two females fighting in the front yard. One of the females was naked.
Hmm.
Two women were found with minor injuries after fighting each other in the fight yard. Both women were drunk. The two Ohio prize fighters were aged 24 and 27. They were arrested for disorderly conduct and later released with a summons to appear in court. Why one of them was naked? Hell if I know. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Boy.
Bye.
I wonder how excited the arresting officers were for that one.
Depends on how hot they were.
I guess.
Usually not.
Unless it's Super Troopers.
It was Ohio, so it was probably, some
No.
heavy set trailer park women.
Let's go, Buckeyes. Did you just insult my Buckeyes?
That bitch
I'm
stole my
fighting.
grilled cheese sandwich, I tell you what. Why are you naked? Because I was born to slather it on my ass cheeks.
Because meth is one hell of a drug.
Yeah, but
Showing
grilled
up.
cheese sandwiches are pretty amazing. Just saying. All right. So I think that was a quick but very efficient cop talk session. And we know what's next. Rick segment.
I think I just broke my neck twisting my head that quickly. Ow.
Ow.
It's a very fast jet that goes overhead for Rick's segment. It's like,
Believe it or not, my segment's going to be short and sweet today. We're going to talk about fitness again.
we're fitting in this.
I'm going to fitness that sandwich in my mouth. Anyways, today while working out, I ended up going to the gym and I was working on the chest press. Chest. You got to go outward. Chest. Come on. If you're there you go. And the other day I got up to 115, so I tried to go to 120, and I ended up doing a little bit of damage to my arm that I mentioned in the opening segment. So I wanted to talk about knowing your limits. So it's good to try to lift. I like to do a max out day on certain machines, but if you know your comfort zone and you're not quite there yet, always make sure that you're trying to not impress people. Don't try and go up just because you think you can do it. Try to stay at a comfort zone until it gets real easy. Once it gets real easy, then you can start maxing out weights to a different level. Right now, being back in the gym, I've only been back 15 days now, something like that. And I'm not back to where I was before. There was parts that I could max out, and now I'm maybe at 20, 30, 40 pounds away from that. So, make sure you work your way up to it. Make sure that you're taking your time to build to it. If you're at a comfortable weight, you're okay with that weight, you're okay with not going up. It's okay to just do more sets, more reps, whatever you got to do to stay comfortable. And Yeah, make sure you stay hydrated. I learned you want to drink about 28 ounces of water after a workout. At least a gallon a
28
day.
gallons? Wow.
28 ounces. I fixed it. You want to drink about a gallon a day, and you want to drink maybe about 18 to 21 ounces before you start your workout. And then finally, I also learned you don't want to use mouthwash 4 hours before you go to the gym and 4 hours after, because it'll actually decrease that blood flow that you got into your muscles.
Mouthwash?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There was a scientific study that actually decreases the blood vessels inside your muscles.
It's interesting.
I don't know if it has to do with the alcohol or something else inside the Listerine, but yeah.
That explains why I don't have any muscle definition. I thought it was all the food I ate.
No, it's all the food you ate.
So no more mouthwash for me, I guess. Should I even be brushing?
Well, I mean, if you go to the gym 4 hours after you do it, that's fine. If you do but you just got to have a 4 hour time period before you start and before you stop. So
okay, that makes more sense. I thought you just meant my muscles were shrinking because I was using mouthwash.
So yeah, that's it for my segment today.
All right. Just curious, do you do a lot of protein powder after or no?
I like to do a pre-workout powder.
Creatine or whatever that is.
Yeah. I don't remember the actual name of it. It's the one I drink is a fruit punch one. There is a creatine powder that I was drinking at one time, but the one that I really like using is it's a 5-star one, and it's actually used for building muscle. And you can get it at GNC, and I believe some Walmarts carry it. So
Walmarts.
Okay, nice. All right, well, thank you. Actually, that mouthwash thing was very interesting. I never even knew that. I mean, I don't know much about working out, clearly, but,
I'm learning stuff every day, so.
That's good. We all should be learning stuff every day. All right, it is now time for the tweets of the week.
It's the tweet of the week. Whoa. What button do I gotta press to get that to happen?
All right, Texas, I know how excited you are.
Where's your sign?
I'm really curious to see what's about to happen. So, all right. The first one is going to be I threw an engagement ring at my girlfriend, but she dodged out of the way. It was a near misses. All right. The next dad joke. Why shouldn't you kiss anyone on January 1st? Because it's only the first date. That one's so good. I like that one. All right. The next one. Is my wife dissatisfied with my body? A tiny part of me says yes.
Come on, Josh. That one was funny.
That's so awesome. Oh, man. All right, let's see here. Sorry, it's not that funny, but it's hilarious. As I put my car in reverse, I thought to myself, this takes me back. All right. All right, I'm gonna find one more. Let me see. What's one more that's really good?
I'm glad he's not paying attention.
All right. When my wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo, I had to put my foot down. That's awesome.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, and those are the dad jokes. Texas, did you have some fun?
I had a blast.
So those in the audio version have no idea what's going on, but Texas was holding up different signs, I think, for each of my jokes because he enjoys them so much.
Do you want me to read the signs that I had?
All right. What are the signs you had? What did they say?
Just don't
Alright.
finish the phone number.
The first one I had was every time B laughs at a dad joke, Antifa and Black Lives Matter gets a new recruit. The second one was J Hizzle blows goats. I have proof. The third one was my banana is huge in a Speedo. The fourth one, thousands of potential kids died on your daughter, or sorry, thousands of Rick's potential kids died on your daughter's face last night.
Jeez.
And send dick pics to Captain Slow at and a phone number.
Yep.
Whose phone number? Oh, okay.
Okay, that might actually be somebody's phone number.
Well, who knows? I guess.
Kind of like the
Well, Rick knows-
867-530-99.
867.
Rick knows to
509.
blur out the number on the YouTube show.
Okay. Just
I've
making
already
Rick
talked
do
to him.
extra work. I like it. All right, let's see what our very professional presidential candidates have to say.
I was
Very
very professional as they
professional.
were.
Joe Biden says Donald Trump will do everything he can to distract from the fact that because of his failed COVID-19 response, over 200,000 Americans have died, 26 million are on unemployment, and 1 in 6 small business risk permanent closure. We can't let him. Okay.
You know,
If you hear what you're saying.
real quick, I disagree with Biden tremendously there because Trump shut down all travel from China and Europe, which were the hot spots. And when he did, he got blasted by the Democrats for being a racist xenophobe. And then you even had Nancy Pelosi and whatever that douchebag in New York, come on out to these events. We're fine. And then they have all these breakouts. Oh, it's all Trump's fault. Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
Trump's fault. Okay.
I mean, obviously, if you have a pandemic and you have to shut the economy down, the numbers won't be great, but they're
'Cause,
recovering
yeah,
from that.
it's one person's fault that a virus exists. Yep.
No, I mean, and when you think of all the different viruses over the years that have come over here, and Ebola and all these different things, usually a few people get it, and then you never really hear about it again. So why would we think this would be any different? No one was seeing this coming. No one, except for maybe the lab in China that accidentally let it get out.
Accidentally, in quotations. Josh got
Maybe,
it.
I don't know. And then Joe Biden said, when I first ran for Senate, we put up a billboard that said, Joe Biden for all our families. It's a motto that has guided me throughout my career. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. I'll be a president for all Americans, not just the ones who vote for me. That's very
Because we
true.
have no choice at that point.
Yes, you know what? That's very true. He will be our president if he wins. All right, and then, of course, Trump, you're going to find this hard to believe, but he's been tweeting up a tweet storm.
No way.
So on debate night, he said, Chris had a tough night. 2-on-1 was not surprising, but fun. Many important points made, like throwing Bernie, AOC +3, and the rest to the wolves. Radical left is dumping Sleepy Joe. Zero Democrat enthusiasm. Weak leadership. He also said, nobody wants Sleepy Joe as a leader, including the radical left, which he lost last night. He's disrespected Bernie, effectively calling him a loser.
The who? The her.
Biden wants to pack the Supreme Court, thereby ruining it. Also, he wants no fracking, killing our energy business and jobs. Second Amendment is dead if Biden gets in. Is that what you want from a leader? He will destroy our country. Vote now, USA.
USA. USA.
USA.
So yeah, he's been saying some stuff. Many more people would have died from the China virus if Sleepy Joe were your president. He didn't even want me to close our country to infected China until 2 months later when he said I was right. Now he likes to say I didn't close up fast enough. Just another politician.
He is.
So, and then he's been retweeting a lot, which he likes to do too. One of his retweets started with, no wonder I didn't lose my hair. I don't know what the article was about, but I just thought that was kind of funny. And then, of course, we always got Oh, actually, wait. I like this one because this would be something Trump would tweet about, and I knew he would tweet about this. I knew it was coming. Are you ready for this? Highest cable television ratings of all time. Second highest overall television ratings of all time. Someday these fake media companies are going to miss me very badly. He's referring to the highest ratings of all time was the debate with Hillary Clinton, and then the second highest was the 2 nights ago. I knew he was going to bring the ratings up. I knew it.
Yep.
I had to read that one. All right, let's see here. So, okay, this is kind of funny. This is a very simple tweet by Arnold, but this is very Arnold-like. I think Chris Wallace did a very good job considering the unruly situation. Next time, I'm available to help straighten it out.
Yeah.
That would be so cool if Arnold walks out like dressed as a Terminator.
I'm sorry. They should have Joe Rogan as the moderator. That'd actually be entertaining.
I just see him like, President Trump, you need to be quiet now. Joe, you'll be terminated if you do not shut up. I will throw you to the chopper. I mean, I would listen.
The chopper.
You've been erased. All right. Well, those are the tweets of the week. Let's see if Guzzlebird has anything coming our way.
I'm leaving. Fuck. All right, this is my segment. Damn it.
Yes, that's why I said you might have something to share with us.
Well, I needed Rick Spade to get the fuck out of here. I only got 2 today, but I got a joke.
All right, let's hear it.
Did you hear about the chameleon that can't change colors? He's got reptile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Texas, did you like that joke?
It's great.
Yeah, Texas. Hey, Guzzlebird, what kind of a joke was that?
That was a dad joke.
Well, that's better than all the ones you've ever said, J Hizzle. That was actually a good one.
You just
All
like
right.
me from a guzzle better.
All right. 2 tweets. The first one. Need more hot girls to come to the park right now. The ratio is fucked and the vibes are getting weird.
Sausage fest on the island.
Just weird. Which was weird because then they tweeted this. Now accepting volunteers to give Whitney a sponge bath. Sorry for the confusion. Whitney is not a dinosaur. Whitney is a park employee. She fell in a huge pile of shit.
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess she needs some help.
I wonder what dinosaur she fell into.
Triceratops. I saw those droppings.
That was
But
a
yeah.
huge pile of shit.
It was.
Fuck all that. You
I
get
know
lost
that,
in that thing.
I don't know, though, if those might have been oversized in the movie because the Triceratops is big, but I don't think it would make that big of a pile.
I don't know. Did anybody ever Google it?
More like a brontosaurus or something. But all right, were those your Jurassic tweets, Guzzlebird, sir?
Yeah. Those are the tweets of the week. Should I Google that real quick, though?
Probably not.
How would you even Google that? What would you Google?
How big is a pile of dinosaur poop?
So
Triceratops.
there's fossilized dinosaur poop to answer that question.
Scientists who studied the carpelite estimated that bone fragments are made up between 1/3 and 1/2 of a 44 centimeter long, nearly 1.5 foot piece of poop. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, because I think in the movie, like they were like digging through a huge pile, but I don't. Unless they were like piling it, I don't know. Who knows?
There was like 4 piles. There's like 3 piles there all together.
They were huge, though, weren't they? Pretty big.
Huge. It was huge.
They were huge. No
Well,
one's
that-
had bigger poop in a movie than Jurassic Park.
That's not true. Have you seen the revamped Ghostbusters with the ladies? That was a big pile of poop.
I haven't actually seen that one. I only do the real Ghostbusters because they're real and the ladies aren't.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited for the one coming out next year. I think it is.
Me too.
Me too. I mean, I'll watch the other one if I get the chance. It's just when I saw what they did to Ecto 1, it pissed me off.
Okay, so according to this, the largest piece of carpelite or fossilized dinosaur poop is 17 inches long, but that doesn't mean that that's just like one piece. I don't know if they drop a bunch like a horse
That's true.
butt pie, or you're getting like a fucking tree stump falling on you. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. All right, Texas, it's about your time to shine again.
It's the Urban Dictionary definition of the week. Take it away, Texas.
First off, I've shined through this whole podcast. I clearly won the debate.
I don't know. Guzzle was great.
I think
Guzzle
I
was
was
good.
awesome.
Guzzle was good. I'll give him
I
credit.
think America
J
won.
I was
Hizzle.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, you all did better than our actual candidates.
I'll tell you what. If people think that the first debate was a dumpster fire, let's just see how round 2 goes.
However, the next debate is going to be the vice presidential one. That'll actually probably be pretty good because Mike Pence's class is a very classy guy.
Very classy.
Professional. And Harris isn't necessarily, but since I think she'll behave better than Biden, though. So
He's just a retard.
All right, J Hizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what a rusty trombone is?
Rusty trombone.
I say we're sticking with the instrument theme here.
Yeah, this brings back memories.
Justin used to play the trombone.
Although mine wasn't rusty, though. So back in junior high, actually back in elementary school, I decided to play the trombone because I thought it looked cool. Like, I don't know if I had another reason for playing it. It's just, it was long and, like, because you remember, like, it slides and you go, I just thought it was cool looking, and then you slide it back and forth, and Texas did the same thing.
It's long, you slide it back and forth.
Yeah, and then you blow into it and it makes noise, and I'm saying, remember
Josh takes a drink.
I remember it had a spit valve.
Jesus.
And you have to like empty it out. That was kind of gross, actually.
I guess that's better than a swallow tube.
But yeah, so I remember Texas and I played the trombone together, and
No, we did not.
it was a bunch of us. Remember?
No.
Saxophone.
Nope.
Yes, and Captain B played the saxophone, and yeah, we had concerts and stuff. We had different chairs to sit in because there's no like first, second, and third chair. I don't remember exactly. The thing was, I just remember I only took it through 8th grade because I didn't want to actually get graded on it in high school because I never brought the trombone home to practice. I just, went for it. But anyway. But yeah, so when I think of trombone, I just think back to middle school and band class, which clearly you guys have your mind somewhere else. Clearly. So a rusty trombone must mean that the spit valve didn't get emptied somehow and it rusted. But wait, this is Urban Dictionary. So clearly it has nothing to do with that. Maybe it has to do with like that's kind of graphic though.
Go ahead. No. If that's what you think, go for it.
Just
Like,
go.
my thought was trombones are long and they slide. So I'm thinking maybe it's some kind of like, it's someone having sex, but maybe their dick's like the trombone, but rusty means that they haven't washed in a long time.
Ew.
And so it's just like an unclean person having sex.
Shaft.
There we go. Was I close?
Unclean dick sex.
Rusty trombone. When a guy gets a rim job and a hand job at the same time from one person. Looks like the giver is playing a trombone with a rusty brown mouthpiece while playing with the slide.
Wait, so basically the person that's putting new rims on your car is the same guy that you get a hand
Get
job.
your nails done from, yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, so basically it's like a nail salon that does tires.
Can I get a rusty trombone, please?
So is that like that's the rusty trombone package? You get while they switch out the rims on your car, you get your nails done too. That's kind of cool.
Rims and a manicure. Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
It's a discounted price. All right.
You
Well,
probably had to pay extra for that.
Well, you're getting a package deal. You get your rims done and your hands done. So it's weird that they call it the rusty trombone, but whatever.
Get 4 rims done, get 2 hands free.
Well, then that'd just be like a promotion, I guess, going on. But all right. Well, we know there can't just be one.
It's the bonus Urban Dictionary definition of the week. Take it away, Texas.
Can anybody tell me what sporking means?
What?
Sporking. Sporking. Sporking.
Oh yeah, that's where you're spooning, but your dick is inside of her. So it's like a fork and a spoon at the same time. So you're like, yeah.
That actually was what I was thinking. I think that really is what it is.
My favorite move.
Bueller?
Okay, here, I'll make up some stupid shit. So, it's when you're spooning a chick, but then you get one of those sporks from Taco Bell, and while you're fucking her, you decide, you know what? I'm just gonna hit that little dangly thing down there. So you jab it into her clitoris.
Ow!
That's ow.
Sporking.
Ow, dude.
Ow!
I'm crying for her right now.
I'm crying for her right now.
Oh.
I mainly think it's funny because I even got a reaction out of Chelsea. So
We know that Rick won't be getting any dates off of this episode.
Nope.
Like,
hey, have you been to Taco Bell lately? No. Good.
How about KFC? Their sporks are better.
I think
you know KFC and Taco Bell are the company.
Sporking actually is not a dirty thing at all. It's very good, clean fun. So sporking is just basically when you're spooning with someone, and then the one person also has a fork, and they're feeding the person they're spooning some food. It's very romantic. For example, you know, if Captain B was sporking with Chelsea, they would be spooning, and then maybe he was feeding her mac and cheese.
Jesus Christ.
There's nothing more romantic than macaroni and cheese.
Well, nothing more than macaroni and cheese while spooning.
I mean, it sounds. I like mac and cheese. It sounds delicious.
I love you, baby. Here, I love you, baby. Here's some spaghetti.
Eat it. Eat it.
Here's some pizza.
Ooh, you eat that? Oh yeah.
Here comes the airplane. You're just spooning, so you're just cuddling and eating.
Here comes the airplane. Yep.
So, was any of us I'm guessing Captain B was right?
Sporking, the act of spooning with the addition of an erection.
Yes, I was right.
I like mine better.
I do that every night.
I was going to say, Brian, every night?
That's every night.
That's not your fault. It's just natural.
Absolutely correct.
So,
well, at least it just shows you don't have any problem getting a hard.
No, there's no problems there.
That's positive. That's a good thing.
Which is amazing considering all the times you got nut shotted.
I know.
Yeah, the sponge. Oh, we're not talking about hockey.
We're not talking about hockey with a sponge in the pants.
Huh. You're just talking about people randomly hitting you in your family.
Yes.
That's kind of weird. I don't know why people
like Matt Allen in Texas and Tom Albers.
Oh yeah, Tom likes to try to do that to certain people. I don't know. Back in the day, people thought it was cool, but I never thought it was. But all right. Well, I think that is bringing us to the end of our show here today. I don't even let's see. Closing words of wisdom. Captain B, do you have any closing words of wisdom?
Yes.
Hey! Sorry, dogs are barking.
Okay, where'd they go? Here they are. All right. Mine from somebody who's not even a U.S. citizen.
Oh, okay.
This comes from Sir Winston Churchill. If you're going through hell, keep going. You have enemies? Good. It means you stood up for something sometime in your life. To improve is to change. So to be perfect is to have changed often. Success goes from going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Here's another good one. Never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 never. And nothing great or small, large or petty. Never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense.
Nice.
Winston Churchill.
That was good. That was
Yes.
Is that what that
No,
says?
sense. We'll take sex.
That's what it sounds like. I was like, that doesn't sound like something Churchill would say.
Rick or Guzzlebird, do you guys have any words of wisdom?
I do got words of wisdom today. Let me click on my word file here. Both of these are from the great Marvel creator Stan Lee.
Ooh, this be good.
The first one, if there's something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you do what you want to do, and you're doing it the way you think it should be done. And if you take pride in it after you've done it, if you can look at it and say I did it, then I think that's pretty damn good.
Oh, Stan Lee.
Yeah, I like Stan Lee.
I
He's a
like
good
that.
guy.
And then the second one, and there's a backstory behind this, but I'll do the quote first. If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. And
Good one. I really like that one.
That's a good one.
the reason why I picked that one, I was watching a video today, and Stan Lee was talking about how he came up with the idea for Spider-Man, because that was his second superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time that he was trying to come up with this superhero, and he was in his apartment, and he said he saw a fly. And he said he wanted a character that stuck to walls. And he was like, Fly Man, Mosquito Man. And then finally he came up with Spider-Man. And then he was like, I want him to have real-world problems. And then he was like, I want him to be a teenager. So he took it to his publisher, and the publisher was like, superheroes aren't teenagers. And then he was like, and superheroes don't have real-world problems. They're superheroes. Get that out of here. And there was a book that they were doing that they were getting ready to kill off called The Amazing Fantasy. And they decided to put Spider-Man in it. And I guess before they killed it off, the publisher came up to him and with the numbers, and he said, hey, you remember that Spider-Man character that we both loved? He's like, I want to create a series of it. So that told Stan Lee, because he was very passionate about it, and he put it in that book anyways, and it became real huge. And if he had not believed in it and did something that someone else thought was stupid, we wouldn't have Spider-Man right now. So don't let somebody talk you out of doing something.
Spider-Man,
really good.
Spider-Man doing the impossible. Why? Because he can. Look out! Here comes the spider. All right. I have a few. You can't have a positive life with a negative mind. All right. Very short but simple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very true. And at times it's hard sometimes not to be negative, but you gotta be positive. That's what my grandma taught me. So I always try to be positive. Every now and then, when I'm really tired, sometimes it's tough, but gotta be positive. So forget mistakes, forget failure, forget everything except what you're going to do now, and do it. Today, you can do great things. I like that. That one's a good one. This one kind of goes with it as well. Disappointments were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to strengthen you and give you fortitude to accomplish your God-given destiny. Which I'm glad, because let's be honest, we all have times we're disappointed, and it seems like it'd be so easy to just give up. Sometimes it's like, why don't I just give up? But then you just got to keep pushing, and build off those disappointments, and they'll make you stronger in the end. I truly believe that, because A, that's happened to me, and B, it's going to continue to happen to me. So Yay. Well, all right. We will let Texas give us his words of wisdom and take us home.
All right, mine's gonna take me a minute, but I'm gonna try to get through it quickly. So last week on Friday, when I was leaving work, as I was pulling out, our mechanic was pulling back in. I guess he forgot something, and I rolled down my window and I was like, "Hey," and I didn't think nothing of it. Come to find out, Monday, he died in a motorcycle accident over the weekend. It was either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not quite sure. We haven't got quite all the details.
That sucks.
That really does.
So first off, that really makes you think, because he was still kind of young, that you're here today, you could be gone tomorrow. So if you have anything, if you have grudges towards someone, you have anger towards someone, it's not worth living your life with that kind of heaviness on you. So, you kind of need to let that go and patch things up. And I'm guilty of this, because you guys know I was in a car accident 12 years ago where a drunk driver ran a red light, hit me on the driver's side wheel well. If I'd have been a couple seconds quicker through the green light, I would not be here. And for 10 years, I held that guy's name in my heart in hatred. I wanted that guy dead. I was so mad. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to forgive him, because I don't feel like holding on to this anger no more. And that felt so good that I don't even remember his name anymore. I remembered his name for 9 years, and I don't remember it anymore.
That's really good.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
You don't know when your last day on this earth is going to be, or a family member's is going to be. So if you don't want to live with regrets. So get that stuff taken care of now. Also, the reason he got into the accident is because he was drunk driving on a motorcycle. Do not drink and drive. Period.
Please don't.
If you have one or two and you feel nothing, you are fine. If you're buzzing even a little bit, that is drunk driving. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Not
That's
at all.
right.
That's why they have Airbnb. That's why they have Lyft and Uber now. Well, I mean, I guess Airbnb, you can rent a house you can walk to.
Lyft, Uber, taxi cabs, friends.
Yeah,
I've used
so many-
Justin before.
Exactly. So many options. Crash on the couch.
And then finally, do not waste your life working for a place that will try to replace you before your body's even cold and in the ground.
Yeah,
Take care of yourself.
I like that.
I agree with that.
And with that out of the way, thank you for joining us at the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast. Please subscribe and share our YouTube page, and like our episodes and videos at the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast. And please like, subscribe, and download our show at the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast on Podbean, Apple, Google, Spotify, TuneIn, Podchaser. Give us a 5-star review. You can tweet us at Poddamn Rick Spade, at Poddamn Texas, at Poddamn Idiots P1. Our email is Poddamn Idiots Podcast at Outlook.com. And share us with your friends, family, creepy neighbor, your pastor, even though you'll get banned from church, your mom's hot friend, your crush, your friend with benefits, your bank teller, a stripper, your bartender, but don't drink and drive. Shout it on the streets. And tell your TikTok followers to check out the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast. And the next time we are podcasting, we will all be together at the Henplex Studios.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Group hug.
I'm J Hizzle from the Poddamn Idiotz Podcast.
And I'm Rick Spade.
And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button to my right.
And maybe you want to see an older episode. See what we've been doing. I'm not sure why you'd start here, but maybe you haven't. Check out the video on the left. Check it out. Poddamn Idiotz Podcast.
Thank you.